congratulations on the arc. We've been waiting for this for a while. That first 5 minutes that's on the internet is about the most exciting thing on the internet right now. It is so well done, and congratulations to you both. I'm going to start with Jonathan, if that's okay with you, Dean. You and Dean had not met prior to the Outpost. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, it was an interesting story. Dean will readily admit that he was not the biggest fan of the existence of Stargate SG-1 because he wanted to continue the movies, and it kept him from doing that. And he had, said some bad things about it in the press, and we never met for years, for 20 years or something after we started doing the show. And one day I get a call from my agent that Dean had read something of mine and wanted to meet. And I thought it was a joke at first, that he was punking me. And we got together and we hit it off like old friends. And it was, we actually were developing another show that unfortunately didn't go. And then we went forward with the Outpost.
And Dean, working with Jonathan has got to be a dream.
I've learned so much from Jonathan. Just to kind of piggyback the story that he just told is, I was literally sitting around one day thinking about, because I had said very negative things about the Stargate series, but I never watched a single episode. And finally, after it was a huge success for over 12 years, I thought, all right, Dean, you're just being stupid. Obviously, they're doing something right, or it wouldn't be on this long. And as soon as I met Jonathan, I understood why they had done something right, because he's a brilliant writer and a brilliant guy. And then, we worked together on the Outpost, and he really taught me a lot about serialized television. I'd never done serialized television. I'd only done episodic. And so the chance to work with him on this was really a chance for both of us to take all of our experience in science fiction, use every trick we had ever learned, and to tell a longer, more slowly evolving story. It's literally one of my favorite experiences I've ever had in this business.
Jonathan, as a young man, as a kid, did you love the science fiction and
I did. I grew up as a kid watching the original Star Trek reruns. That was in the day when it was on like 5 days a week.
On every channel. On
every channel, yeah. and the Next Generation, and just loved both of them, and read a lot of science fiction. And then when I became a writer, my first job as a writer was doing cop shows. Mm. But then I ended up going into doing genre, horror and science fiction, and that's kind of what I've been doing ever since.
Dean, how about you? You grew up on science fiction and fantasy. Your mom was in a Star Trek episode.
That was really what started the whole thing. Is my mom came home from shooting. She was in the Wolf in the Fold episode of the original Star Trek, and she got the stunt guy to give one of the old broken down stunt phasers, to her, and she gave it to me. And that was, that was the crack that started my addiction. And then, shortly after that, Star Wars came out, and then Close Encounters, and next thing I know, that's all I want to do for the rest of my life.
Now, I have to apologize for something, Dean, and Jonathan, because when I heard about the arc, I'm saying, oh, it's going to be a retread of Harlan Ellison's series, The Star Lost. And I saw clips of it, and I started to get really excited, and I'm totally wrong. Mm-hmm. This is such a great ensemble show. It reminds me, this could be theater. I mean, it is that well done, guys.
Well, thank you.
Dean, you directed the first episode. Were there a lot of challenges in that? I mean, you're using mostly practical sets, not a lot of CG, but some CG.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, the biggest challenge is that both Jonathan and I have very grand ideas on what we want to do. And then we sit down and go, okay, we don't have $200 million and 10 months to go make this. So how are we going to do this in 8 days on the budget we've got? But we also aren't guys who are really willing to curb that ambition. So, because I'm a director and because Jonathan's a director, we were able to reach into our bag of tricks and figure out every cheat we ever did to try and be able to tell a larger story with less resources. And that was the challenge, but it was also the fun. You mentioned that first 5 minutes. we had no idea if that was going to work. I mean, we actually had a backup plan that if we hated it, how to open the show without it. And it wasn't until we saw the first kind of presentation of it in editorial with the first effects on it that we thought, oh, this might work. But we went for it.
Jonathan, what do you think audiences are going to take away from the Ark?
I hope they're going to take away a little bit of, well, first of all, I hope they're entertained. That's always my first priority. But I hope they're going to take away a little lesson about humanity and about, it's sort of the struggle between each man for himself versus we're all in this together. And that's sort of the constant battle throughout the series is back and forth in that sort of human thing that we all have. And so it ends up, I hope we sort of have a good message by the end of it.
It is the same boat that we're all in.
Yeah.
Dean, before I go, congratulations on Leverage, the season finale of Leverage Redemption. And hopefully there'll be a season 3 because I'm coming out to New Orleans to visit you. And one of my good friends, Ryan Little, just interviewed your wife.
Ryan was the DP of a movie of the week we did with my wife called Blank Slate, and he was amazing on it. That was before he was, oh no, I guess he had already directed, but this is before he became the big director he is today.
Yeah, he's a dear friend. So again, congratulations on the Ark, gentlemen. It is such a edge of your seat show, but so human, so wonderfully entrenched in our conditions that we have today in this day and age.
Well, thank you.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye, Tony.